Hey guys, it's Old Man Wags here with Atlantic Pressure Washers. What we're going to be doing this morning is cleaning our commercial storefront. As you've seen in previous videos, what we're going to focus on is basically the metal roof all the way down to the ground. We've got our reflective windows and mirrors in the background. We've got our sidewalk as well as our brick. We've got a security camera on the side that we want to be mindful of, and we definitely don't want to flood the showroom, so we're going to go ahead and be a little more delicate around those areas. However, what's different than our previous videos, we're not going to show you the type of equipment that we're actually running with, and we're just going to see how fast we can complete this job using one person and the different tools that are in our arsenal right now. So we're going to go ahead and fire up our mystery machines, and we'll reveal them at the end. All right guys, so as you can see, we made quick work of everything that was going on behind me. Not only was I not rushing, I was taking my time. I soaped everything the proper way. I used a lot of the proper tools, even though I really didn't use that many tools. We even had time to make a repair when something went wrong with our nozzles, showing really how important it is to have spare parts and be set up to make emergency repairs, because stuff does go wrong on job sites every once in a while, even if it is brand new equipment. This time lapse took about 45 minutes to get everything done. That was from the top all the way down to the ground. We used a soap that allowed us to basically hit the windows, leave the glass looking really nice without having to go through some sort of spot-free rinse system or some sort of deionization system or even a hand squeegee. In addition to that, we used a hot water system to basically surface clean the concrete, to pop all the gum, do the curbing, do the face of the curb, and then push everything out to at least past the first parking spaces so that people aren't bringing it into our storefront. If you'd like to see the equipment we used, feel free to check out part 2 of this video. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and move that truck in. All right, so in case you didn't guess it, we are using a monster of a commercial rig. We've got a 525-gallon water tank that started with about 400 gallons. We've got about 100 gallons of water left, meaning it took about 300 gallons of water for us to complete this project. We have not one, but 2 Fahrenheit 83s attached to this truck. I was obviously the only operator, but under ideal circumstances, there could be 2 people cleaning, potentially a third if you had a bigger area, because we additionally had a soap line running off a 24-volt pump. Let's check out the back end of this. This is set up for commercial use. You roll up to a job site, both of your crew members start by pulling out these hoses. They run out the water sources in opposite directions. You've got 175 feet of direction off of both ends of this truck, meaning you can work pretty far off of water sources. That's filling our 525-gallon water tank. We've then got our 24-volt, 10-gallon a minute pump that's pumping not only our water tank, but also our chem tank, so we can pull whatever we need for this job itself. That's what I use to soap up. As you can see, with ease, I got about a 30-foot shot. I really wasn't doing anything fancy, just using the M5 twist as well as a shooter that comes along and pairs well with this. I've got about 225 feet of working line off of this. That is 1/2-inch ag hose, meaning no matter how corrosive of products we have inside that chem tank, this hose can handle it, that pump can handle it. It's set up all day long. The last thing that I did with this pump was set it over to rinse, flush the entire amount of hose out, and basically from there we get going, and it's got fresh water in it now, meaning next time I fire it up, I've got fresh water coming to the job site. We then focus on the second part. I have one of these high pressure lines. Again, I was working by myself, but you could have 2 crews rolling. You pull this line out, you go all the way out. You've got about 300 feet of working distance. Go all the way out to the end of your job site, fire the machine up, work back to the machine. And if you got 2 guys, you can have each person chasing each other. 300 feet that way, 300 feet that way. That's 600 linear feet of working distance off of how this truck is parked, showing how important it is to set up properly on the job site. The less you have to move the truck, the easier it's going to be for you and your guys. On the other side, we basically mimicked the exact same setup. We've got our Fahrenheit 83. Both of these machines pack a punch at 8 gallons a minute, 3,500 PSI. I was able to use just a ball valve to rinse that same distance from the ground that required that 24-volt pump. In addition to that, if you paid attention to the process, basically I soaped the concrete because that can sit as long as possible. I then soaped the brick, went back, soaped all of the metal awning, soaped up the glass, came back, fired up the rinsing machine, rinsed all the glass, rinsed the metal roof, rinsed the metal under or side of the awning, rinsed the block, rinsed the glass again, fired up the surface cleaner, hit the sidewalk, hit the curbing with a high pressure lance, used a ball valve to rinse everything off the surface, and then rinse everything out to the end of this parking lot. The reason that we followed that process is it makes the most sense. Depending on what it is that you're doing, you may have a slightly different process, but in this context, on this job site, that made sense for one operator. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn the water on.